Hello everyone, welcome to the Auto Racing Connected Formula 2 Championship round 5 of 14 here at the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai, China. Alongside me today is AJ Kaneko, the league owner once again. AJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to see this race happen today. I know the weather's been kind of interchangeable. First race on F1 2021, and I'm kind of expecting some maybe different faces up at the front since it's a new game and handling's a little bit different. So, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely, because we have a spinner. Uh,
Yes, two spinners actually,
One being the Alpine,
and the other being the Alfa Romeo. I think it was Ollie Durston.
and Carbs has retired from the session already. Interesting.
He does have a qualifying penalty from last event out in Vietnam, so that does make sense.
Right. So the thing I'm curious about is obviously last game, as Tyler McIntosh sets a flyer of a lap with a 130.6 on the softs. One thing that is interesting to me is this going to be a one stopper or a two stopper? Meaning, if you start on the softs, you could either do soft, medium, medium, or soft to hards. But which one are you going to think is quicker?
I don't really foresee any of these guys doing a two-stop, but I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen more people out on the medium yet, to be honest. I think most of the guys in the first tier, anyway, are probably going to fit the harder tire strategy and then go for the one-stop medium to hard. I can't really see anything else happening, especially considering, as of right now, the forecast for first tier is saying, we're probably going to end up with some rain near the end of the session, so you could take a soft tire and then give yourself an extra pit stop because it won't make it to the rain. Just seems kind of not worth it. I mean, it might be
Yeah.
worth the extra grip if you can get it that far, but as soon as it gets wet, you're ruined anyway, so...
Yeah, but one thing is, especially in, well, I mean, not sure about this league in particular, but track position does mean a lot, so you might as well, if you think you can, be up at the front and maybe hold some people off and tell them, maybe catch a safety car or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see, and I think a couple of these guys you'll also see in the first tier in the next race. I think Connor Hannock is either going to be subbing for ECR in the first tier Mercedes or IPS in the Aston Martin, and then also you can expect to see Tyler McIntosh subbing in the other McLaren for Hector Ochoa, who is not going to be at the next few events. So, I mean, for these guys, it should be good practice anyway to see where they come out in the next event. The person I'm really watching in this race is actually Matthew Stotts, because I feel like, he's been there or thereabouts in every race so far, normally just behind his teammate Tyler Crabtree, and
Hmm.
hasn't really had the luck to go along with that. But I mean, this race, Tyler's not here, so he's automatically got the better pit strategy. And we should also mention Connor Setchell, who is currently leading the points and has been near the front in every one of these races so far, is also not here. So this is really his race to lose, I think. Tyler McIntosh won last time out in Vietnam, but I think Vietnam was a very crazy race, and it's hard to really gauge what happened from that. So looking back at the
Right.
last four, I think Matthew Stotts is going to be the one we should watch.
Yeah, and watching him now, he's going through the first sector down into the left-hander. You make sure you want to get on the power not too fast, otherwise you're going to get the rear of the car to step out. Nice there on the mediums. At 24.221 in sector 1. This is another corner where you want to get it right, otherwise you're going to have a massive lift. Um, just like that, oh, he's going to have to lift. Went wide. Oh, that's going to cost him a ton of time. That's not the lap he wants to have, especially on the mediums if you want to go with the harder strat, because a lot of people are going to be on the soft tires.
It depends though what tire he's on actually, or what strategy he's on actually, because if he's on the harder one, he will have a second run,
Yeah,
and that's the end of that one.
yep, that's the end of that lap, as he keeps that out
Kept
of
it
the
out of the
wall.
wall, so that's nice. At the very
but
least,
he
get
will
behind
have,
the wall.
yeah, he will have to obviously make another lap if he wants any chance at pole. But
I think we should take a ride along with Tyler McIntosh then from here. He's back out on an out lap on another set of softs. He's going to be heating them up, and then this next lap he's going to go for it. So
yeah,
we should activate the spectator menu here, see what we have this year. What do we have
and
this year?
somebody we really haven't mentioned at all is Bailey Targi in second place. Still a little bit ways down on Tyler's lap, but that could be just a warm-up lap to get used to the track, since this is a new game. It's only been released, I think, out for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks.
So here Tyler McIntosh is starting his lap now, I believe anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And heading off into turn 1, a little bit wide on the entry, which is what you want to do, and then come back, clip that apex. He seems to be right bang on the apexes through these first few corners, so as long as he can get the good exits here.
Just over a tenth faster in sector 1. So if he can keep this lap together, maybe improve in other areas, it's going to be a flyer.
We have another spinner off in turn 6, I believe that is. I may be wrong. Oh, that is the end of that lap.
Not what you want to do.
Yeah, he's not even back on. He's half throttle, so I think that's going to be the end of his lap.
Yep, that was invalidation of that lap. I mean, he's still about, let's see, about 1.6 ahead of person in second, but that's because most everyone else have not set a lap yet. But getting close down to the end of the qualifying, only 8 minutes to go. But that time will tick down further than you want it to sometimes.
So now we'll ride along with Billy Targi, who's starting his timed lap down the main straightaway. Off into turn 1, we'll see if he can keep it as tight as Tyler did. A little bit wider than Tyler was, and a little bit more shallow actually in the middle of the corner. Missed the apex. This could be and a little bit more curb than you really want to take there. It's an interesting line. I don't know. Once you mess up that first part, it's hard to dial it back, but he seems like he's still up on his time this time, so hard
Just
to say what that
faster.
last lap was. We have a yellow in sector 3. The Aston Martin is in the wall.
And out of the session. And Ollie Durston goes P2, or P3 I think, on the mediums.
Also mention that Joseph Cozy has joined the session as well, so that makes 2 AlphaTauris in this session, which is good. Going to be an easy points day for these guys today.
Yep. But one thing I'm curious about is there's still that glitch where you
And
join,
we've got
settle up, and
another
around he
spinner.
goes. Keep it out of the wall, keep it out of the wall. Keeps it out of the wall, but not sure how much he was improving by. But that's the end of that lap, and you'll have to go for another lap.
And I guess we can ride along with Ollie Durston then. I can't tell if he's on a timed lap or not. I don't... Actually, he might be.
Nah, he's not.
You sure?
Yeah. I don't think he
Oh yeah,
is,
he's
at
half
least.
throttle down the straight. Who else do we have on
Might
the
be
track?
just a warm-up lap. Sector 2 and 3, yellow, that might be for the Alfa Romeo.
It's a fast lap for Joseph Cozy. It doesn't say out lap, so I'm not entirely sure. I think everyone else mainly is in the pits, so... This doesn't necessarily look like a fast lap, but he is booking it down the straightaway, so it's hard to say. Could very well be a timed lap. Certainly a feeler lap. Sometimes you just need that to feel out where you want to kind of run the track, and you know, if you're going to start on the medium, he's on the soft, maybe you don't want that first lap to be all that fast anyway, so this could be a strategy call. Or he could just be completely...
And around goes the Alfa
uncomfortable with
Romeo,
car.
sorry about that. Ollie Durston spins it in turn 1. Got too much on that curve and just looped it around.
That would do
Not
it.
sure how badly damaged the tires are, but they seem to be alright.
Well, that'll be the end of his lap anyway. And here comes Joseph Cozy around the last corner for what might be a timed lap and might not be a timed lap. Completely back on the throttle, and that will be a not timed lap. So now he's probably starting a timed lap.
Oh, and he goes really wide.
We'll ride along with him this time, and tires should certainly be up to temp this time. We've got Connor Hannock back on the track on an out lap, so he should be fun to watch in the next one. But Joseph Cozy actually goes purple in Sector 1. I'm assuming that's purple for him and not purple for everybody.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed is Matthew set a 1:41.9, and then immediately retired, so that'll be interesting to see how he can make his way through the field.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. The little turbo pops you hear in this game, the whistles and stuff, I think that's a really nice addition to this game compared to the last one. You can really hear the engine a lot compared to last game. I think they're still kind of quiet in spectator mode. You hear a little bit more whistling than you did in the last game, but we've turned our mics down a bit so you guys can experience the sound of the game a little bit more than the sound of us. So hopefully that sounds a little bit better than last week, or last race I should say, since this is our first race back in over a month actually. End of summer break.
And Ollie Jurston retires P3 on the mediums.
Here comes Joseph Cozy at the end of his lap, and that will be a 1:32.7, good enough for P5, in between Craig Knock and James Sands. Fifth is the outside here, right? Into turn 1?
Yes.
So let's ride along with Connor Hannock here. He's on a timed lap, so he seems to be going a little bit quicker.
Oh, watch out, watch out. There's a little bit of traffic here. You might have to abort this lap.
And that's the end of his qualifying. And that will definitely be a penalty.
Yikes.
Caught on stream. Caught in 4K.
Well... It sure seemed to see that everything was going smoothly up until that point.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the AlphaTaurs were thinking, "What you go ahead of me," or we just stay here, or what.
I don't know that there was a lot of thinking going on there, to be honest. So here comes Tyler. He's starting a fast lap. Crowd is absolutely roaring for this man. He's one of the only cars left on the track that still has the pace. So we'll ride along with him. Seems like a really slow turn 1, actually, really tentative through the middle part of that corner.
Yeah, compared to last game as well.
What do you mean, like last lap? Or?
Like how different you can take turn 1 rather than the last game.
Oh, I thought you meant like last corner he took. I was like, I mean, it looked a little bit different, but I don't think his pace was that much higher.
Pretty good through here. Just make sure you don't stick yourself on that curb like you did before.
He really kind of likes that curb. The rear looks like it's not that stable on this car, which is kind of odd, because Tyler normally, from my experience driving with him, doesn't really like the rear to be all that unstable. I
mean, he's more than a tenth up on his lap.
Yeah, but look at the rear here. It's
and around he goes.
Gone. Yeah, that's something that is wrong with that car in his.
And he retires from the session.
I mean, what else can you do? Like, there's not really enough time yet to go out and do another one. We've got 3 people left on the track. One is going to take a penalty next race for blocking, and he's off the track. Joseph Cozy, assuming he's going to be retiring, maybe. I'm not really sure. It looks like he retired. So now we have James in the pits. Billy
Target, the only one on a lap. So he's the last person on a lap.
DRS is open. James Sands has retired, and all eyes on Billy.
Yeah, he might improve, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a pole out. You never know. Dude, the last corner. DRS wide open, and it's a 31-3. So that's about, what, 7
P2.
tenths down?
P2. Good enough for him, though. He's still a second clear of third place, so, like...
Yeah, but that's on the medium still.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's a lot of track position. Where was he? Fifth before? Or sixth?
I believe he was 6th. But that's the end of qualifying, so he can go ahead and retire from the session. So who are your picks for the race today?
Well, I said earlier Stotts. I'm going to stick with that prediction. Based on my league racing experience so far on this game, the safety car is really, like, persistent, I guess is a good word for it. Like, also, there's a feature in this game, which I should also mention, where if you go to a VSC, there's the chance that they upgrade it to a safety car. I don't know if you've experienced that yet, but I've experienced it. They will call the VSC and, you know, turn it to a safety car in like 5 seconds if they deem that it's too big a crash, which is an interesting feature. I think it could come into play in this game, or in this race. I think that could affect it. So I think I'm going to still go with Matthew Stotts as a pick, but I'm also going to hope from a biased perspective that Tyler McIntosh and Craig Knott can have very good races for my team.
Most definitely. We always want everyone to have the best race that they can, but obviously that sometimes isn't always the case.
Let's have an idea here of when the first safety car is going to be. A guess at it.
I would probably say either lap 1 or lap 2.
So you're expecting a very clean start then, eh?
Apparently.
Okay, well, I'm going to say lap 12. I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-car crash on lap 12 that puts somebody in the wall and makes another person angry. That's my guess. It's a very specific guess.
Wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
Okay, here we go. Formation lap. And everybody's going to be warming up. Should probably not just stick to the onboard cameras. I kind of forgot for the majority of this that there even was more than one camera here. I didn't even click on that.
The trackside camera.
Yeah. I always tell Riker in the first tier streams, I'm like, man, you should show the trackside camera more often, and then I just completely forgot it existed for the entirety of this qualifying session, so I'll show more trackside heading into this.
But anyways, the person I think is going to win will be Tyler McIntosh. It's obvious that he's shown his pace, but I mean, one concern I do have is his confidence with the rear of the car, because obviously we've seen in qualifying that the rear of his car isn't necessarily all that stable, but then again that is with low fuel and qualifying pace, so maybe with more fuel it'd make the car a little bit more stable. I'm not sure, but I think he ends up P1 at the end of the race.
You know, another thing I forgot to mention too, as another driver who really is going to be looking for a good result, especially after what happened at the end of Vietnam. I think we cannot count out Connor Hannock in this race specifically, because especially what happened to him in qualifying, like, we don't really know what his true potential was. There was no lap time set, so I think he could be another one to watch. I wouldn't even be surprised to see him P3 by the end of the first lap, because he's quick enough to score points and first tier. He can get it done.
So
can I change my pick? Am I allowed to change my pick? I'm gonna pick Connor Hannock. I've just changed my pick.
Well, speaking of Connor Hannock, he is the only person on the hard compound tire.
Go along. Catch a safety car, take the lead.
3 people on softs, everybody else on mediums. And we are lining up in the grid position for the start of the Chinese Grand Prix.
So I'm going to take a middle of the pack car, and we'll see what happens here. And we still have the bug that the last game had. Phenomenal. We're finally off.
So lights out, and away we go. There is a AF2, it looks like that's... I don't know, it's the... Yeah, it is the AF2 that is stalled on the start, Joseph Cozy.
He did say he was going to drop to the back at the start because he took out Connor Hannock in qualifying. I did briefly see that in the Discord chat. And we had 3 wide there really briefly. Craig not coming worst off of that one. I think he got a little bit of snap oversteer from lack of space. Alfa Romeo really deep into the corner there. I think that was Dylan Carpenter. And yeah, we're already single file.
Yeah, which didn't take long at all.
No,
but
actually,
Matthew Stott's already up to 4th, gained 2 positions off the start.
And
looking on the Alfa Romeo for P3.
Connor Hannock side by side with Craig Knock. He is tucked right in behind him now. That hard compound tire is obviously going to make it a little bit harder to get the grip out of the corners, but we'll see what happens.
That was very close, with a little bit of contact. Very close.
Tyler McIntosh is already on his way. He's got 1.6 seconds.
Oh, and there's somebody around! Billy Targy and
cars.
Matthew Stotts both around.
So they're both going to try and recover back to the track. Just a Sector 3 yellow.
Well, Matthew was both of them were very lucky that ghosting's on, because that would have been a massive wreck.
Did they spin back across traffic? I didn't catch it. Oh, we have another spin. Connor Hannock has spun around. He's 8th. Man, I cursed both of my picks.
Yikes.
This has not been a good pick for me, eh?
Commentator's jinx, question mark.
I don't think there's much question about that one. Wow.
Meanwhile, Ollie Durston up to 2nd, only 1.9 behind Tyler McIntosh. So he might be a sleeper for this race, if everything can go well. Not sure how long the soft tires can last in overcast conditions, with the track being a little bit cooler than normal.
I mean, really for Tyler, all it depends on is how late he thinks he can make that soft go, because if he can go far enough, he might be able to take the hard and get to the end from there. It's just going to be a little bit touchier than, say, Ollie Durston behind him trying to take the hard to the end from like lap 12 as compared to like lap 9. So I think that's what Tyler's race depends on.
And Ollie Durston has a little bit of a moment, got too much on that curve and lost so much time.
That's going to open up an opportunity here for James Sands, who's right behind him. Obviously, DRS is not enabled yet, so that's not going to be much of a concern for him.
But still having a chance to attack on him. Might send a late lunge down here in the hairpin. He's taking...
He thought about it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's not really a risk worth taking on lap 2 if you're that far back. Especially when you know you're going to come across the line and see that nice statement on the top of your screen that says you're allowed to open that rear wing and try and make a move like that. So,
meanwhile, Matthew Stotts has gotten back around Connor Hannock for the 8th position.
So we've got 2 kind of groups forming here. The group of cars that have not spun out, and a 3-car pack in the back who have had issues, but obviously it's still really early in this race. Tyler McIntosh has already pulled out 4.2 seconds. We are on the 3rd lap. This man
Make that point is 4.3.
This man is absolutely on a mission today. He could spin out and still have the lead theoretically. So
depends where you could spin out, though. We've seen.
Assuming he doesn't end up in a wall. I was gonna say his rear end might not be that much of an issue as we thought it was gonna be in qualifying. So. Yeah.
I'm watching the onboard of James Sands, and with DRS activated this lap, he's around.
And he spun. Oh, he's hit
into
the barrier.
Wall. That's a lot of damage.
That's going to be a really... And we've got a VSC.
That's a VSC. That brings out the VSC. Interesting.
Probably a good
Will
time
that bring
to
out a safety car?
Obviously, there was debris when he hit the wall. The wing came off. It's realistic.
Will that be a safety car with the amount of debris on the track? Because that is a thing in F1 2021. For those that don't know. And 5-second penalty for Connor Hannock for ignoring yellow flags. That is not what you want to have in your race.
So one would assume, I'm 99% sure that that happened because he took the position away from James. I really don't think he was ignoring based on speed, or it would have given him a drive-through. I think it probably gave him an illegal overtake.
So Tyler stays out. Ollie Durston, everybody else obviously stays out.
Everyone stays out. James Sands obviously gonna peel off into the pits. I think it would be really poor of a decision for him to stay out.
Yeah. And it seems like the VSC is going longer than usual, so that's interesting.
Well, maybe there's still some debris. Depends on the the race marshals, obviously. We watched them change the nose on.
And going on another set of mediums.
And yeah,
so
I'm kind of amazed that some of the graphical bugs in this game still remain, such as the nose staying on when they're pitting and replacing the wing. Just some little things that are kind of annoying looking. As he comes across the white line, I'm not sure that's going to be a warning. And he's already spun it. He's looped it in turn one. Tires are obviously quite cold. That's not going to help him much. He's just got to hope that something happens. He's trying to get him up to temp, I think. But yeah, we'll move on from this. We'll let him.
Yeah. The only way he can get back in the race is if there's a safety car. And Connor Hannock with another penalty. Multiple warnings for track limits.
Yeah, this one's going to be for track limits, and obviously that's not what you want to see either.
Meanwhile, somebody who we haven't talked about, Adrian in the Aston Martin, up to P6.
Adrian Saldiarna?
DRS Open, getting a little bit closer to Joseph Cozy, but not too much closer.
We should mention, this is actually his first race, so it's been a fairly decent outing for him so far. He hasn't made any mistakes, really. He's kept his nose clean. And despite starting from fairly far back, and did we see somebody peel off into the pits? I think that was Joseph Cozy, actually. It was.
And Matthew Stutz with the penalty.
And
maybe going for a two-stopper, I'm not sure.
As we've talked about Adrian, he just went wide in turn one and lost the position to Matthew Stutz. So maybe we should just stop talking about people because we're not really doing them very well.
Yeah, and Joe Sakozy goes on the hard set tires. That's interesting.
Silently, Craig Knock has made his way back up to P4, and he's still right behind Dylan Swiss Carpenter and Ollie Durston. So
yeah,
it's turning out to be a pretty good battle.
Tyler McIntosh's lead is up to 8 seconds, so it's obvious that he's not thinking about saving tires at all.
No, I think he's pretty content with this. He could probably do a two-stop at this point and still be comfortable, so
yeah.
This is quite a race from him, to be honest. And he said to me before this race, he said he was going to try and make a statement because he wants to prove to people that he can still compete in AF1. And we have another spin. That's Matthew Stotts. He's in the grass where he was in qualifying. And he is going to return to the track and keep going. But yeah,
and I'm pretty sure he's
pass going on too. Connor Hannock has just gone past Adrian Saldiarna here. And yes, another move done. So we'll go back to talking about these guys at the top here. Tyler McIntosh said to me before this race, he said he wanted to prove to everyone that he could still... And we have another crash. James Sands.
It looks like James Sands. And Matthew Stutz is out of the race. That's a massive crash. That's got to be a safety car. That's right along the DRS straight.
Safety car is out. He has presumably done... Oh! And
Joseph Cozy spun
into the spot
as well.
Oh, wow.
Luckily not get any damage, it doesn't look like.
Well, you know, I'm kind of glad that he did that because it gave us a nice camera view of what where that wreck was, because I didn't catch Stotts on camera there. As we see see Joseph Cozy driving around the track without a helmet on my
yeah, doing the Mark Webber.
Wow. Oh, his helmet's back. Oh wait, no, that was a different car. Look at this man.
Okay then. Codemasters, you gotta work on some stuff.
Eyes.
Codemasters, we gotta have a talk about this. Not gonna be honest.
Yeah, this doesn't seem very safe.
Yeah, a piece of debris hits you up, boom, you're out for God knows how long.
Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna be watching people make sure they keep their deltas here for the safety car.
And hopefully by the end of the safety car, Joseph Cozy has his helmet back on.
We'll check for Tyler here and see what his strategy is here.
I would say he's gonna go in. I would say he's gonna go in the hard tires. It's lap 7. You're probably gonna restart around lap 9. Go about 20 laps on the hards.
I'll tell you what. I feel as if Tyler McIntosh can take the medium and go. Is that the medium? He's gone with the medium.
He is.
I was gonna say I feel as if he can take the medium and then take another set of softs at the end and still be ahead of everyone else. He has pulled 8 seconds in about 5 legitimate laps of racing. In 10, that's 16. And now that he's got a medium that lasts longer, you know, the guys behind have not really proven that they can keep up with him. I think this is a safe bet for Tyler that he can come out on top here. I think he wasn't going to have that bet with the hard because, you know, with the hard, you're trying to stretch them. With this, he's safe.
Yeah, most definitely. And if I was Connor Hannock, I would have pitted under the safety car to get rid of the 5-second penalty.
The 5-second penalty, I agree. You should probably get rid of it, but I don't think it's going to.
Well, he's gonna have to get rid of it sooner or later because I mean now would have been time to do it because
you know how safety cars are in this game though. If there's a legitimate DNF with a lot of debris, you're gonna have a safety car. So I think that it's a safe bet to assume that we might see another one. I think it's really not that much of a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's like it's rather just to get rid of the 5-second now. That way, if there's a safety car near the end of the race with like maybe 6 or 5 laps to go, you don't have to serve it and then lose time near the end of the race rather than in the middle of it or at the start.
So now, still waiting for people to catch up here. We'll go back through the pack, see who's trying to still catch up. Here comes Billy Targi. Oh, and we nearly Tyler ran into the back of Adrian Soldiarno there. That could have been very bad for his race, but I think he just about kept it on the track. This is going to be his first time really in traffic this race too, so that could be an interesting thing. And here comes Joseph Cozy catching up. He's here now. And finally, James Sands, who has been battling his car all race. This is going to be very good for him to catch up, I think. He's probably going to feel quite nicely about a safety car. Yeah, I did a lead race last night, actually. I wanted to get some practice in for, obviously, Tier 1, and I was really surprised by the frequency of the safety car in this game. Even on standard, they tend to come out more when there's a crash with like debris. I've noticed is the main thing. If you spin a car out into a tire barrier or whatever, it really doesn't matter how far off the track they are. And I quite like that. I like that they've worked on where the safety car would come out, especially the frequency of them, because, you know, as we all know in real life, they've started calling the safety car a lot more than the VSC. We've only really seen... Have we even seen a VSC yet this season in real life? I don't think we have.
No, I don't think so.
And in past F1 games, I've noticed that the VSC is like the go-to, and I've always thought, like, comparatively to real life, it's been kind of unrealistic. So I'm happy to see them go to a more safety car centric kind of setup. I think it leads to more realistic racing. I'd be interested to see how a safety car would play out in a 100% race. But yeah, anyway, safety car in this time.
Safety car, yep.
The 2 Alfa Romeos will lead the field. We'll see what they do here. I've noticed that some people don't really see the rear suspension.
Oh, what was that about? A severe collision warning between the Aston Martin and the Um,
Is he missing a front wing? I can't make out if he is or
the
not. It looks like he
Mercedes,
might be. I
can't
think
really
Adrian
tell. It's not giving me
Salvierga's
the
missing a
angle,
front wing.
but I'm not
No,
sure
he's
what that was
fine.
about.
He's good. The wing looks fine. I mean, from my angle anyway. I didn't even catch what happened, so we'll try and take a look
I
at
was
Connor
just
Hannock
spectating.
now
I
and see
think
where he's
I
at.
was spectating one of the Williams, and all of a sudden you just hear a crunch in the back.
Well, Connor Hannock's continuing on as if nothing happened, and we will see Adrian
And
Salvierga
here comes
continue on as
Tyler
well.
McIntosh to the left side. He has to get by him this time.
He goes off to the
Goes a
outside
little
here.
bit wide. Oh, Connor blocks
Can he
him off.
try the cutback here? I don't think it's going to happen this
Nah.
time. He's got an AlphaTauri
Oh,
on the inside of him. A little bit of
still on the
contact there.
inside.
Not giving him any space. I'm not sure. That was a little bit of an optimistic move there
Ooh,
from the
that
AlphaTauri.
was so Tyler. Ooh. Tyler kind of forced the AlphaTauri near the gravel trap and made him lose a ton of time. Had to cause him to lift.
Had a very
But in the
poor
process
camera
of doing
angle
that, he makes the pass on Connor Hannock for 4th place. Now he has his eyes set on the Williams up front.
I don't think his teammate's going to make it all that difficult for him, to be honest. Obviously, Craig Knock is out on old mediums. Probably will let him go this time. Yep. There's the lift. And now it's on to Dylan Swiss Carpenter. And we know Tyler has had some run-ins with the Alfa Romeo in the last race of Vietnam. I'm unsure of which one it was. They both had their moments.
But I mean, with the much fresher tires, I don't see Dylan really holding up.
And we have
Tyler
a
in the
spin.
sector 3 yellow.
James
Who's
Sands.
that? Oh, it's Sands again.
This may be it for his race. I'm not sure what his motivation level is like, but if he can continue on, I will be very proud of him. Here comes
Much
Tyler.
more grip out of the
Another
corner.
run. He moves to the outside. He should be well alongside him in the corner, and it looks like...
just about. Ooh, that was
what
close.
a cross! That was millimeters.
5-second time penalty for the Aston Martin speeding in the pit lane. But anyways, battle for second. Tyler prevails on that one.
Yeah, we've
and
just
now
got
he has his eyes set on the leader. There's a retirement. Connor Hannock is out of the race.
I can't see that. The two cars behind him are both in the pits. And
that's another safety car.
Might I say, I would love, as a feature in this game, to be able to see the car that has retired. I don't think that's a feature that's too much to ask. I think you should be able to scroll to the person who has retired, so that you can see generally what happened. So we'll try and ride along here with Adrian and see if he can give us a view of what's going on. And there's the Mercedes has returned to the pit
I
lane.
saw the little icon disappear over
See if we
here,
can
but I'm not
spot some
sure. He just
debris.
passed him. I don't see anything. I might have cleared up by then, but
No,
he
I
might have
don't
got
know.
on the curb on the exit and spun into the barrier.
And James
I'd
Sands'
assume that's
bad
what
day
happened.
keeps getting worse with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car.
Yikes.
This is going to be a horrific day for the New Horizons racing team.
Penalty after penalty. But now what does this mean for the Alfa Romeo people and the others on the old mediums? I would say pit for hards and then go to the end on... Oh, are they double stacking? Oh, Tyler's pitting for as well. The Alfa Romeos are double stacking. Dylan's gonna have to create a little bit of a gap. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the Alfa Romeo garage. And he's on the hards.
And he comes out third. Joseph Cozy in the lead right now.
Dylan Swiss Carpenter is going to lose a ton of time. Down to 5th after that. Double stack.
Craig Knock also victim of the double stack there. And he has fitted the hard. I think, did Tyler go onto the hard? He has, so that is pretty much everyone on the hard tire. Joseph Cozy's are a few laps older. I'm going to take a, see what the detail is here for the hard tire. So Joseph Cozy's hards are 5 laps old. basically what this race depends on for him is A, if he can keep the pace, which from what we've seen so far would be pretty difficult, and B, if the tires can actually last that long. He may be pretty good at saving them due to the pace differential, but I don't know if that's going to do him very well at the end. If I were him, I may have even pitted and tried to put on a medium so that he could hang in traffic there and then catch another safety car.
Yeah. But regardless, I mean, I'm not sure. I can't really remember how well his pace was on the previous F1 game, but considering he's controlling the pace right now, I don't think it's going to be that much of a struggle for him.
Well, Cozy inherited the lead from the safety car, so everyone else pitting, obviously. So
yeah,
that's my concern for him. Is I'm not sure he's going to be able to stay at the front when this green flag comes back out. I would assume the safety car will be in next lap. Hopefully James Sands and Adrian can catch up here. And we've got a spinner. Craig Knott has spun coming out of the last corner under safety car.
So did James Sands as well. Another spin.
Something is like fundamentally wrong with that Alpine this race.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how he can be struggling so much with the back end. If the setup has got to be horrific this race or something. And he's into the pits, presumably for a new front wing. He's still got a drive-through to serve, obviously. At least I'm pretty sure he does. I might be wrong. Catch up with Adrian here. Shame to be back under safety car conditions, but it does shake up the field quite a bit, so yeah.
Well, considering Tyler McIntosh's pace that last safety car race, it'll be interesting to see where he stands now, considering most of everyone, oh, pretty much everyone, is on the same set of tires. Besides the Aston Martin, who is in 5th, or 7th, I mean, on the mediums.
So, I'm going to plug something for the ARC Formula 1 race. In about 9 minutes, give or take, we will know the exact forecast for the F1 race. So, I'm excited to see what that's going to be. As of right now, it's still saying we're going to have a dry start into intermediate into wet conditions. So, that should be an interesting race.
Yep.
We do like a good mixed conditions race.
Yep, safety car is in this lap.
Very late call for the safety car to come in.
Yeah, but most of everyone's already up here, so there's no need to go another lap around.
Mostly everyone.
Joseph's going to have
Actually, we should ride along with James Sands. He has not looped it. He has made it down the straightaway this time, and we see Joseph Cozy take
there they
off.
go.
Everyone through the last corner.
Tyler McIntosh looking on the Alfa Romeo, but nothing we can do right now.
Well, there's really no point yet. I mean, the urgency doesn't really have to be there this early.
Yeah.
And he's down the inside.
Oh, that's not really where you want to go.
He left the space. I mean, it's clean.
Yeah. Props to him. Oh, Joseph Cozy gets a little bit loose with the older tires. That's going to have a chance for the Alfa Romeo to take a pounce, but no luck.
He didn't even go for that. And the Alfa Romeo got really squirrely out of that corner. Put the power down. Tyler's
this is not a corner where you want to go side by side. Someone's got to lift. Someone's got to lift. And that's what I knew was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. That's not the place on the track where you want to. Oh, yeah, Aston Martin spun as well. And according to that,
I may be biased here, but I feel as if the Williams was far enough alongside to, warrant that space.
Yeah, but it's just a tight, fast corner that you're going through.
It is,
and it's just really hard to judge where you guys are going.
But we did watch the Williams go deep in the corner, not make any contact, and then the Alfa Romeo, we watched it cut back right onto the inside line. Like, I don't really know where Tyler is meant to go in that situation. It should have waited, absolutely. There's no urgency yet, but at the same time, you know, watching this, Jessicozi's still holding these guys up, so I mean, you know.
I mean, Tyler's not, then again, Tyler's not that far back. I mean,
no,
he's only probably 30
really
seconds
well,
back.
and I will say it was really lucky he caught the grass with the front tires because it spun him directly back into the racing line. He didn't really have to correct the car. So, yeah, I think he's going to be pretty happy with that. Obviously, he's not going to be very happy with the fact that he spun in the first place.
Yeah. But, Billy Targi up to 3rd place. Oh, down the inside. No!
Oh, we've got...
that's not what you wanted to do. Yikes.
And that'll be a 3rd safety car.
Well, that was something. Billy Targi was obviously way too late on the brakes, and I think tried to avoid the Alfa Romeo and ended up... excuse me. And ended up hitting the back of his teammates, and luckily didn't give his teammate damage, but Billy Targi out of the race. That is with now 3 retirements. Not sure what that was about. But it just looked like he was way too late on the brakes, and obviously nowhere to go, and tires falling off.
So, we're now on lap 14 of 28.
So about
3 safety
just
cars
half...
deep.
Yeah.
And 3 separate retirements for different incidents.
Mm-hmm.
Down to 7 cars, and obviously everybody's still going to score points. I'm sure that the people will.
So now I'm curious if anyone's going to take a gamble and pit for mediums. I mean, we already have the Aston Martin on mediums, but I'm curious to see if anyone else wants to pit for mediums, and I think Tyler is going to. Tyler may have gotten front wing damage from the AlphaTauri, getting a dive bomb on them.
Or do you mean the Alfa Romeo incident where he spun?
Oh yeah, that.
I was gonna say I didn't really notice what happened after in the bigger accident that brought out the safety car, because I seem to keep catching the worst camera angles that this game has to offer every single time that there's an incident. So.
And Tyler is on the mediums.
I think it's worth it. We've had a lot of safety cars. It seems like in this game, as soon as you have a retirement where the suspension's busted and there's a car sitting in the track, I like that we're getting safety cars for this, because, you know, the realism of having a marshal come out and clean that up off the track, you want to see that. You want to see...
What is going on up here?
I think Adrian's got something... Maybe he's still got a Delta?
That's weird.
What?
How is that a penalty?
He cut the corner, obviously. I don't...
Well, it didn't really look like he had all 4 wheels off track.
It's hard to say. I don't really know, to be honest. It is what it is.
But that was odd.
Wow.
F1 2021 giving us some interesting... I don't even know what the word for it is, but...
I'm enjoying it. I like the frequency of the safety car. I
do too, because it throws so many curveballs out to you, like, especially for us. We have no idea what's going to happen in our tier, AJ, because I mean, there's obviously going to be a lot more people, and with it being mixed conditions, it could be even more crazier than this race.
I genuinely hope we can have Riker commentate that first tier. He should be good, eh? I think he said something in the mod chat. Riker, if you're listening to this, which I know you are, I've seen your stream comments. Please respond. We miss you.
I thought he would be asleep right now.
No, he's awake. He's alive. He's alive and well.
But anyways, so Tyler is the only one on the mediums, apart from the...
And we do have confirmation.
Aston Martin.
We do have confirmation that Riker Lommel is commentating Tier 1. So if you're enjoying this, which you might be, you might not be. Maybe you don't like safety cars. Maybe you don't like random, you know, inopportune moments and unpredictable stuff, maybe you don't like that. Maybe you're a boring person. But if you're not, and you really enjoy this kind of stuff, and you want to see some random things, then tune into Arc Formula 1. And we have contact between Tyler McIntosh and his teammate.
That's okay then.
Carps. Wait, was that Tyler who got the wing damage, or was that...
I believe it was Tyler
Craig?
McIntosh.
I think... I didn't catch that. I know it was a Willie... No, it was Craig. Craig is missing an end plate.
Huh,
so that means Craig Knock has run into the back of Dylan Swiss Carpenter. I wasn't sure if it was Tyler running into the back of Craig Knock or whatever, but that's going to be really unfortunate for Craig Knock, since safety car is definitely going to be in this lap. Unless, you know, the game sees it as debris on the track, but I'm sure whatever's there, they'll... nope, we have safety car in this lap. That's a really early call. That's another thing I was going to say. I like the randomization of when they call the safety car at the end of these laps. They've done a good job with the safety car this year, and the customization of the online races, like what you can bring to the table. Obviously, we run on full damage and simulation damage frequency, or whatever the second thing is. I don't know what the option is called. The ability to give you slight rear damage if you get involved in that sort of thing. And the ability to add stuff like approximate weather is kind of cool. I think that's a really interesting feature. And we have a lot of weaving going on.
Yep, trying to get the tires warmed on this restart. Joseph Cozy on 10 lap old hard tires, so that's going to be a challenge for him, getting the tires warmed up.
We're really going to watch here is Tyler McIntosh, and I think he'll have learned from last race. You see Craig Knock peel off there.
And going green. Tyler McIntosh gets a pretty good safety car restart, but nothing to do right there. Oh, don't force yourself in the position. Ooh, that was not really a spot to force yourself into the position, but he's moved himself up to second. But not sure how that will go. And he's gone to the lead already. But I'm not sure what happened between the Alfa Romeos and Joseph Cozy.
In my eyes, it looked like that Carps had left enough of a door open, Dylan Swiss Carpenter, to invite the overtake and then close the door. But obviously, it's not really a spot you want to go for anyway. But I don't know how many of our viewers have seen China 2016, but it looked a lot like that situation where Kvyat stuck his nose up the inside and bounced the Ferrari of Raikkonen into the Ferrari of Vettel. Or vice versa, I'm unsure which Ferrari was which. I just know there were two Ferraris involved.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much textbook what happened. Both Alfa Romeos got into each other, but they seemed to be fine. It was a daring move. I'm not necessarily sure I'd have gone for it, but it certainly looked good on the camera.
Yeah.
He certainly.
I mean, I saw a clear picture of it. And Billy Turkey has lost his position, even though he's retired from the race.
Jeez, that was a camera angle from Joseph Cozy. I swapped to the to the trackside camera and had a car come at me. So yeah, that was interesting. Joseph Cozy's actually still P2 on these 12-lap old hard tires. I don't know. Maybe Ollie Durston sustained some sort of damage in that, and whether it be side pod, rear, or whatever, I didn't really know, but certainly holding up his teammates. Teammates right on it. I think the call maybe from SHR should be coming soon. Although, that's not really something that happens in these league races, since we've implemented the ban of in-race engineers to come in and spectate the races. I think it adds something more to the drivers having to decide things amongst themselves, and it really forces people to work on their intra-team relationships and make sure. Oh, we have contact. Adrian Saldiana has made
That
some
was
contact.
a late dive. That was interesting. I was
Yeah, I'm
just on
not
the I was
necessarily
just
sure
on
he
board
even
with
meant to go for that.
I was just on board with Dylan Subscriber, and out of nowhere, I just seen Aston Martin just go flying into the corner, almost taking them both out. But luckily, the Aston Martin was able to spin himself out of the way.
So let's talk about James Sands. All this has happened, and he has definitely made a recovery. I hate to put this curse on him like I normally
Sector
do.
3 yellow,
And
and
Craig Knock
Craig
out of the
Knock.
session.
That might be a VSC at the latest. Nothing
I don't
right
think
now.
that's gonna be anything, to be honest. He seems to
Oh,
be well off the
that's out
track.
of the fast right hand corner where it goes way down to the track, where we've seen people spin in qualifying. So I don't think that's going to be really anything.
No,
That
I
might
don't think it
be
will be
something
either.
that's cleared up. And yeah, it was something. Yeah, VSC or a safety car definitely would have came out now if it made a decision.
So I think
And we are back green.
one thing we've learned from this race, from watching it so far, is that the rear of the cars in this game are definitely more unstable than last year's game. And I think people are going to take some time to get used to that. I'm really interested to see how the Tier 1 drivers handle this. Especially considering we have our top 3 drivers in the point standings right now, as the top 3 drivers on the... actually, that's not true. 3 of our top 4 drivers in the standings as the top 3 drivers on the China wet leaderboard. So, obviously those guys will be able to handle it, but I've witnessed a few spins in practice, so hard to say. We get a lot of weaving down the straight.
Interesting weaving down the straight by Ollie Durston, taking the defensive line into the hairpin. A little bit of contact with the rear wing and the front wing of James Sands and Ollie Durston, but not sure how the weaving is going to be tolerated in league races.
That was a little bit borderline, I think, and now we watch.
Because I remember, I'm not sure if you noticed, but in the sprint, I want to say in the sprint race for Silverstone, I think it was last Saturday, that Alonso was weaving quite a bit, and quite a bit of people were complaining about it. So I'm not sure if this is something to complain about either, but that was a little, I want to say, excessive.
We have an Aston Martin in the grass. He has
trying to go around the outside.
The braking markers. I'm sure we'll hear about that.
Despite the penalty on the fresher tires, but ooh, that was close. Oh, it is around.
And the Aston Martin, yep, spinning through the grass. He's done a good job to keep it off the wall, though. And
but that's pretty much, unless he gets a safety car, that's pretty much the end of his race.
And we know that there is always the chance of a safety car in this game.
Yeah. We're coming to 8 laps to go, I believe. Tyler McIntosh 10 seconds lead on Joseph Cozy. I mean, not only props to Tyler McIntosh to get through the field twice, but props to Joseph Cozy being on 14 lap old hard tires.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job holding off the people behind him. I think he'll be more than content with the result, even if he ends up finishing 25 seconds behind Tyler. You know, this is about all you can do at this point. And you can watch, actually. Tyler McIntosh
and not only that, he doesn't
straight on Joseph Cozy.
And not only that,
complex.
Joseph Cozy doesn't really have to worry because Dylan Swiss Carpenter does have a penalty behind him. Let's see if I can see what the penalty is.
I'm pretty sure it's
a 5-second penalty.
It's 5 seconds. Okay, so that might.
So that's a 7-second gap, and Resify is pitting for softs. So he's gonna go for the fastest lap, obviously, which I wouldn't be surprised if he would get. Repairing his front wing.
Fastest lap. I mean, he may take it now and try and get fastest lap, and then try and catch a safety car and get ahead of people, but.
I mean,
he's too far back.
He's 20 seconds behind 5th place, so that's about probably 40 seconds behind Tyler McIntosh. So I mean, not really.
Well, maybe he's got another set. It's hard to say what he tries to do here. At the end of the day, if we're gonna have him compete, he would have to have to catch a safety car anyway, so.
I mean, Tyler McIntosh's lap is about maybe 2.5 seconds faster than everyone else's.
And if
So,
you're watching this right now, this lap, Tyler is actually going to be all the way into the middle of this corner as Joseph Cozy takes the last corner. So you can see actually how much he's gaining a lap visually on the track map. It's like not a small amount. He is completely dominating this race. He's completely out of the complex before
yeah.
Joseph Cozy's here. You're going to see him go off in the hairpin, stop, basically, and get back on the throttle on the straightaway, and Joseph Cozy's coming out of the first turn complex right now. It's a big gap.
13.7 seconds to be exact.
What I'm going to find interesting is, will Tyler think that he can pull a 25-second gap, which he may be able to, put on a soft tire, and take fastest lap?
Nah, you're not. I don't think you're gonna be able to gain 10 seconds within 5 laps.
He's gained
I just
10
don't see it.
seconds in 5 laps, Kyler. We went. When did we go? Didn't we go green again on lap 18 or 19?
I'm not sure if it was that early. I
It's
think it was lap 17. I think.
still, that's what, 5 laps, 6 laps? He's at 15.4. He has gained 3.5 seconds in half a lap. And here he comes through the last corner. Now he's going to be all the way into turn 1. Can he get to turn 2 at this point before Joseph Cozy hits the last corner? He's almost there this time. He's rounding that bend. Joseph Cozy's coming across the start-finish line right now.
I'm just watching Ollie Durston on his lap. It's the first lap that he's set on the or it's going to be the first lap that he's set on the softs. Currently tracking pretty good, unless he goes off. And through the last corner, a 33.0. That's only, let's see here. I mean, that's only 6/10 faster than what Tyler said on the mediums. Oh, there's a sector 2 yellow. Oh, it's Dylan Swiss Carpenter. He was running in the podium position. Has spun it.
As he rejoins the track, tires are going to be really hot after that one. It looked like he spun them quite a bit getting back onto the track.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be really careful getting back up to speed, because here comes the Alfa Romeo, or not the Alfa Romeo, the Aston Martin. About, I want to say, 3 seconds behind him.
So, we're up to nearly 20 seconds, 19 flat. Tyler, are you feeling as if he could take fastest lap?
I mean, honestly, probably, but at this point he just wants to finish the race and just get on with it.
I don't know. I think it'd be quite a statement to go for fastest lap. I think it should be in the back of his mind, because here's the thing. This gap that he's got right now, he would still come out ahead of James Sands in third. And then at that point, he's got to pass Joseph Cozy on a set of 18 to, we'll assume 22 lap old tires in the remaining laps on a set of fresh softs. That's not unachievable. I think he goes for it. I think he should. I think, obviously pit exit assist is on in this league. I think you don't run the risk of really anything aside from a pit road speeding penalty, and as long as he's cautious heading into the pit, I think he should go for it. It's an extra point in the championship. He started late in this series. He's got a lot to make up on Connor Setchel, who's missed this race. I think this could be a really, really big opportunity for him, even if it's just one single point. I think you've got to take that opportunity.
Yeah. And after you saying that, the Aston Martin has spun around once again, so any hope of catching Dylan Swiss Carpenter is gone now. He's at 8.2 back. But meanwhile, after all the troubles that this guy has gone through, James Sands is up into the podium position. And he's actually catching Joseph Cozy. And this is Sector 3 yellow. That's Aston Martin again. But James Sands might catch Joseph Cozy. He's only 2.4 back. And 6 lap fresher tires as well.
The line that Tyler's running is, well, as I say that, he missed the apex by quite a bit, but he's really running a strong race right now. It's really good.
And I'm curious to see who, when the Alpine is going to catch the AF2 here. He's closed the gap down quite a bit. Obviously, Joseph is going to have to pretty much manage the tires by quite a bit since they're on 19 laps old. If he stays on these tires to be 22, 23 laps old, I think.
And he's going for it. Tyler is into the pits. He's going to put on the soft. He just needs to make sure not to speed.
And pit limiter activated, and he is going on the softs.
Okay, now this is where we watch it. It's lap 26 of 28. He's essentially got his out lap and then 2 shots at fastest lap. He's just going to make sure he comes out ahead of Joseph Cozy. You know he's been watching that estimated exit.
And he's already out of the, he's already out of the box.
Out.
And
here comes
he's
Joseph
going to beat
Cozy.
him out. He's going to beat him out.
He's ahead of Joseph Cozy. Tyler McIntosh on the soft tire. He is going to go for fastest lap, take that extra point. This is a gamble, but it's going to be well worth it for an extra point in the championship. It's been an absolutely dominating display from Tyler McIntosh.
Yep.
And actually, when we now see Ollie Durston hit for another set of softs. So we've got a battle here.
And also, Adrian in the Aston Martin has pitted for softs as well.
So theoretically now, Dylan Swiss Carpenter could come around next lap and take softs.
Either that or pit this lap as well.
Well, that's what I mean. He could come around this time and pit.
Yeah,
He has nothing to lose at all.
Meanwhile, James Sands still closing in on the AlphaTauri.
I don't think there's enough time left for James Sands. He's got a really unstable rear still. He seems like he's starting to figure it out, but I don't know if it's
Dylan Swiss Carpenter is retired. He's retired from the session.
Huge drama. Is this going to affect Tyler's attempt for fastest lap?
I don't think it will. You're coming to 2 laps to go.
Well, they might throw a VSC. You never know.
Nah.
I've never seen them
It's 2
throw
laps
on
to
this
go.
late, but this is a new game, and the yellow flag is gone. They've removed the car, and here comes Tyler's fastest lap attempt. He's off into turn 1. Right on the limit, on the apex, wash wide, and then he's going to brake, let the engine do the work on the curb, down in the corner, squirt a throttle right of the inside there. A little bit off the apex, but then he's going to get back on the throttle as fast as he possibly can. Down this straightaway, clip that apex. Right here when the curb starts a little past it, you're going to brake. No more braking markers, courtesy of the Aston Martin of Adrian Saldiarna. Back on the power, down this straightaway, and now you're going to clip that curb and hope that the rear end sticks as you come around this corner. Here you can take a little bit of curb, but you want to be super careful. He opts to stay off it because his race is more important than the fastest lap. He has pulled a massive gap. It has gone from 3 seconds at the start of the lap to 6.5 as he comes down this straightaway. This is a really important braking zone because you want to not miss it, because you want to be a little bit more left than right as you come around this corner. It really affects your run out of this corner down this straightaway. Super easy to lose the rear here. He's a little bit tentative on the throttle all the way to the outside and down the straightaway to the DRS zone. The rear wing is going to be wide open here. ERS all the way on. He comes down to this hairpin, and now there's 2 more corners. This one's the easier of the 2 on the brake. Just don't lock a tire. Make it as wide as you possibly can on the power as soon as you possibly can. Be down this straightaway onto the curb, and you can take a little bit off the start or off the inside here, back onto the power, and he's down, and that will be fastest lap.
32.057. Meanwhile, James Sands is catching the back of Joseph Cozy. Joseph, coming out of fast right-hander, did get stuck on that curve and lost a ton of time. So James is going to be all over the rear wing of his car as he's gaining much more time through the sector, first sector.
So we've got.
I think he's going to get him this lap.
You know, we've got a gap of 0.4 here. He's just got to be on the power a little bit more carefully than he's been in the past, because that rear snaps, and he loses a lot of time on the exit of the corners. One thing I've noticed from James Sands. He's going to go deep here, try and make up all his time in the braking zone. He's got to be careful to not loop it around, especially with the loss of downforce you get from following other cars. But Joseph Cozy seems like he's really struggling on a tire. He's been on it for 22 laps. His last pit stop was lap 6. But he's done a really incredible job. I think we've just got to really focus on whether Joseph Cozy is going to make it to the end on this set of tires.
And
especially
James Sands has a little bit less of ERS, sorry about that, a little bit less ERS, so this is going to be interesting, but James does have the benefit of DRS.
Yes, but he's struggled in this corner. You don't want to see him loop it in here, but you know he really wants it. He's tentative on the throttle, and now it's just about getting on that ERS. He's going to go for it. Tyler McIntosh comes to the second to last corner, but we're going to be watching this battle here as Tyler McIntosh brings home 26 points. James Sands thinks better of it. He just doesn't have the speed. But why does Joseph Cozy? Little bit off the line there, but parks a bus. He's not going to get it done here. Joseph Cozy's just got to hope for a good exit here. No penalties. James Sands cannot get it done, and that'll be your podium. What a race. What a race.
What a race.
Guys.
What a race. And meanwhile, we're still waiting for Rezify. I mean, Rezify may take the fastest lap away. He's half a second up from his previous lap.
Yeah, but his previous lap was a second and a half down on Tyler McIntosh's lap, if I remember correctly. It was a 33.2 or 33.3.
Not sure. He could have a really good last sector. You never know.
I think you'd need a really, really good last sector to match that. Comes to the last corner. It was a little bit better than Tyler's last corner, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
No, only half a second down, and coming out of the last corner, the first race, not bad. P5.
That'll be 10 points in the bank for the newcomer in the Aston Martin. What a race from everybody, especially from Tyler McIntosh getting it done. His second race in a row, 26 points. And that's going to be a massive blow in the championship for Connor Setchell, who has missed this
And driver
race,
of the day is the newcomer, Adrian, in the Aston Martin. Well done to him.
Our podium ceremony. Who was your driver of the day, Kyler?
I would say Tyler McIntosh. It's obviously he was the fastest. Made his way through the field, both safety car restarts, and even had the gap to go for fast lap, and just wonderful performance all day.
Yeah, that was, I agree, driver of the day for me too. I don't think I've seen a race with that much of a statement made in quite some time. I think Tyler's going to be really happy with that. To come away with 26 points to try and close the gap to Connor Setchell. You have to wonder, is this the start of him trying to bring the fight to the championship? 2 straight race wins, Connor Setchell missing a race. It's a huge, huge amount to make up. So obviously here, this has been the end of the race.
Yep.
We've got more action coming in about 30 minutes here. Back again from China. We should check the weather, let everybody know on the broadcast if they're still watching what they can expect. And yeah.
And as of now, it is cloudy to showers
to thunder
and then
showers.
thunderstorm.
So we should expect a overcast start in the first weather slot, overcast qualifying. The second weather slot you will see light rain, and in the third weather slot you will see full-on rain. Should be an interesting race, and yeah, we'll see all you guys there. Riker Lama will be commentating from the booth. If we get anyone else, maybe not, you never know. And yeah, see you guys then.